Chapter 1 April 14 Stadtpark, Vienna. Hey, I heard the voice from a foggy distance. You can't sleep here. I felt a gentle kick on the sole of my shoe. Okay, I thought, reaching up with my right hand to still the pounding in my head. I could tell that I was lying on the ground, on a grassy field, but the rest was hazy. Fuzzy images in the distance suggested trees, and a building loomed off to my right. My eyes blinked open, and I stared up at a uniformed officer. Another few blinks, and I guessed from her beret and blue outfit, she was from the Austrian Polizei. "Come on, get up," she said, this time without a kick. Obeying her command was not easy. I tried to push up with my hands, but then had to roll over onto my knees to get off the ground. Balance had abandoned me, but I kept moving to show that I was complying with her order. When I finally got to my feet, I turned toward the officer. She was my height, and even with my blurred vision, I could tell from her voice that she was young. I strained to see more clearly. Brown hair, neatly tied and kept in place under her beret, the red epaulets proof of my earlier guess that she was police. I didn't know the system or police organization in Vienna, so I couldn't tell her rank, but I supposed that the appearance of a single star on the epaulet meant something. "What is your name, sir? And why were you sleeping in the Stadtpark?" I looked at her again and tried to focus my eyes while steadying my wobbly legs. "Have you been drinking?" she continued. Too many questions, but I knew I should start with the first. Darren. Somehow my brain couldn't come up with my own last name. Then, Darren Priest. I wasn't sleeping, I was... "You were asleep, and that is not allowed here. Do you have a hotel room?" she asked. "Yes, but how did I..." But then I stopped. I didn't know how I ended up in the park, asleep on the ground. From the sun, it appeared to be mid-afternoon, and I had no recollection of getting here or why I was here. Still, I knew it would be a bad strategy to ask her how I got here. Sleeping is one thing. Sounding intoxicated or disconnected was worse. I'm staying at the Marriott. Over there," I said, pointing to the tall gray building across the road. Some details were coming clearer to me, but not the time of day, or even the day itself, or the events preceding this moment. Slowly, snippets of memory began to refill the calendar in my brain in reverse order. I recalled having coffee and a croissant in the Marriott restaurant at breakfast, and then, remembering backward, a hazy memory of walking down the corridor from my room to the second floor to the restaurant. As those details cleared from a blurry gray, other moments gathered in line behind them. I woke that morning, early as usual. I showered and dressed. The evening before was slowly coming into view, including the dinner at Figlmüller last night. The half-bottle of Weissburgunder Pinot Blanc and the Wiener Schnitzel that was so large it overlapped the edges of the plate. There was no one sitting with me, no one to talk to. I bantered with the waiter to fill the void. I remembered it as an uneventful meal, except for the excellent food that I had often enjoyed at Figlmüller. The waiter was pleasant, the wine satisfying. Paying close attention to detail, I could focus on the time after the dinner when I walked back to the Marriott, sipped a single malt scotch at the hotel bar, then went to bed. Nothing stood out to me as indicating any impact on my ability to think or function. "Well, you can't sleep here," the young officer repeated, bringing me back to the present. She turned to leave, then stopped and turned back to me again. Something in my memory of the morning kept infiltrating my thoughts, and kept me from promptly responding. "Let's go," the officer said with a more commanding tone. The slight tick in the film of my memory was about breakfast, and something seemed out of sorts. There was something that didn't belong, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.